Well, this is my first shot at making a movie. I'm going to try to embed it in my website about Puerto Vallarta. As I'm coming up the steps from the beach, you can see my place. The truck belongs to a contractor right down the street, and that's his favorite space. I'm okay with that, no problem. Everybody's kind of laid back here. So looking up the street, you can see the streets are made of stones, concreted in, and then looking up this way, you can see that it's the same way in that direction. Although there are a lot of one-way streets here, sometimes people just don't pay attention to whether it's one way or not. They just go. No one yells, no one screams. They just move on and let life go on as it should. So this is my street. This house here is very beautiful. Just looking through the windows, I've been able to see it's very nice. The owners of my place live in the top above my little studio apartment and have gone back to Paris, France, where they run a restaurant. I came to Mexico in this great little Saturn. I bought it at a tow yard sale for $950, had about 118,000 miles on it, put some tires on it, and drove all the way. The beautiful thing about it, it gets about 39 miles per gallon. It's a 5-speed, crank up windows, but the air works absolutely perfect. So that was all I needed. Packed my goods, came south of the border. This is looking up the street from my house. So to get into my house, you'll have to excuse my voice, it's a little crackly. I've been on the phone to a lot of people today. We go through this kind of old-fashioned door and walk up these steps. Very brick, very neat. When I first walked into this place, I think it was one of the first places I looked at. And I just made up my mind. They were asking about 30% more than I finally negotiated, but we made a deal, $600 a month, and this is what I've got. It's fully furnished. It's got windows all the way around. I've got shades pulled on a couple of them. It's afternoon and we get the western sun in here. And because it's a tropical country, you can see that, you could know that this is going to be a little bit warm. Sometime in the future, I'm looking to get a peek at what that little house looks like. It's on the hill as well. Looking down the street, you can see the church off in the distance. One of the nice things about living here is that I don't actually have to have a clock in my house because there's one on the church. And that church clock rings a bell every half hour, and sometimes in between, and sometimes absolutely when it wants to, it seems like. So it's really great. It rings 24 hours a day, but I've gotten now that it doesn't bother my sleep any. I was waking up and it was kind of distracting. So this is kind of where I hang out. And this couch here makes a bed as well. There's a trundle bed underneath it. Those are my computers. Why I've got two running at the same time, I don't know. But I'm taking a couple of courses on the computer, and one is Photoshop and one is a hypnotist course that I decided to take only because I had initially looked at it for self-hypnosis, and then I'm finding, wow, this is really interesting stuff. So there you go. So we go into the kitchen. Kitchen is well equipped. It's got everything I need, including something that a lot of people don't have, a washer and dryer. Now it's probably cheap enough to go get your laundry done, but the fact is it's still inconvenient to have to run down someplace, drop it off, and make time to pick it up. So walk through the house, you can see it's really kind of cool, very airy. When you live in the tropics, you shower every night before you go to bed, and that keeps you nice and cool. Got a little privacy door here. and there's also one for the bathroom. Got a nice little bathroom area here, the closet with a little safe to keep my goodies in there. Turn around, whoops, there I was. And so, a nice little shower. Water pressure is not terrific, but you know, we're still out, kind of out in the desert, and the water is hard to find. That is an opaque window. And believe it or not, a lot of places don't even have hot water. So, there's my bike that I brought. Bought that bike. The roads are a little rough. I haven't really decided to go out and explore on it. TV stations are in Spanish. Sometimes 2 weeks delayed from US exposure. So there we are. I hope you like my little video. I'm going to attempt to put this, if you see it, it's going to be on my website in some kind of embedding. By the way, I do have air conditioners, but I'm bound and determined not to turn them on, even though the electricity costs here aren't that ridiculous. So that's it from Puerto Vallarta. Greetings from Mexico, and we will have more videos in the future if this works out. Goodbye, and there it is, Puerto Vallarta.